In 47 days, $300 trillion will simply vanish, and you don't even know you're paying for it. The car in your garage, the phone in your pocket, and the billionaire lifestyle you follow on Instagram, it's all a lie. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact date when this illusion finally evaporates. Recently, the world watched in shock as unbreakable luxury empires began to crumble. As Magnate's media brilliantly showed, brands that boasted record profits for decades saw their market value disappear overnight. But while everyone's obsessed with understanding why the rich are suddenly hiding their wealth, they're ignoring the silent monster that created this wealth in the first place. They told you we're living in an era of unprecedented prosperity, but look closer. Beneath the surface of this 2026 economic crisis, there's a structural rot that makes the Great Depression of 1929 look like a dress rehearsal. For centuries, wealth was something you built. Then it became something you earned. But today, wealth is something you simply rent. We've entered the era of the Great Illusion. Central banks realized that if they kept interest rates near zero, they could fool an entire generation to feel rich. This created what's called the wealth effect. If your house value rises on paper and your credit card limit increases, you spend. You buy the Rolex, finance the Tesla, and travel to Dubai. But you didn't get rich. You just became a luxury delivery system for bank profits. You're spending your future self's money, hoping he can pay the bill. This system worked up perfectly for years, until the math stopped making sense. What I'm about to show you is the invisible debt that doesn't appear in any official government report. When we talk about financial collapse, we think of big banks failing. But the 2026 crisis is different. It's molecular. It's in the buy now, pay later, in 84-month car loans, and in subscriptions you forgot to cancel. Credit became invisible. It was gamified. Apps turned debt into something fun with bright colors and congratulations notifications. But behind the friendly interface, the trap was set. For the first time in history, global debt has exceeded 330% of world GDP. That means we'd need 3 planet Earths producing for an entire year just to pay off what we owe today. But here's the part nobody tells you. The banks knew this would happen. In fact, they planned the exact moment of collapse. There's a technical term keeping analysts awake this year, the debt wall. During the pandemic, companies worldwide borrowed trillions of dollars at near zero interest rates. They used this money to buy back their own shares and artificially inflate their prices. Now, in 2026, that wall has arrived. Trillions of dollars in corporate debt need refinancing, except interest rates aren't zero anymore. They're triple, quadruple. If these companies can't pay, they stop investing. If they stop investing, they lay off workers. And if they lay off workers, the consumer who's already maxed out on credit stops buying. This is where the parallel with 1929 becomes terrifying, because the crash of '29 didn't start in the banks, it started at the counter of a shoe store. If you watched our Great Depression documentary, you know how the market was operating on margin, borrowed money. As economics explained in their analyses, patterns repeat with mathematical precision. Today, the entire world is operating on margin. The difference is that in 1929, it was just Wall Street. Today, it's Main Street. It's your neighborhood. When commercial real estate starts shaking, as we're seeing now with office collapses in major cities, the domino effect is inevitable.
Phew! A quick break to remind you, if you're enjoying the video, please subscribe to uNuts right now. Help us grow this community. Done? Now back to the story.
There's a factor that didn't exist in 1929, a factor that makes this global recession impossible to avoid through traditional methods. Get ready to meet the scarcity algorithm. While ordinary citizens struggle to pay their credit cards, major world powers have started a desperate race. Why do you think the United States is suddenly obsessed with securing resources in Greenland? Or why is Singapore buying distressed real estate in London and New York? They know the fiat currency system is reaching its logical limit. When you print money to pay the debt of money you already printed, you're not solving the problem. You're just increasing the voltage on a time bomb. The invisible debt isn't just what you owe the bank. It's what your country owes the future. We're living through the end of an 80-year cycle of dollar dominance, and like every cycle's end, the transition is both violent and silent. The scarcity algorithm works like this. When resources become limited, nations stop cooperating and start competing. We see this in the race for rare earths, space militarization, and a silent war over trade routes. Global logistics is being redesigned for a post-abundance world.
But what happens when your bank decides your money is no longer yours? The answer lies in what experts call the Great Financial Reset. It's not conspiracy theory, it's documented monetary policy. When global debt reaches impossible payment levels, there's only one way out: redefine what money means. There's a group of investors making billions from your debt, and they're not hiding it, they're announcing it openly. Private equity funds discovered they can buy personal debts for pennies on the dollar, and then use collection algorithms to extract the maximum from debtors. It's a trillion-dollar business built on human desperation. Your debt data is more valuable than your online behavior data. The date analyst's fear isn't a stock market crash day, but the day credit stops being approved. Why is the luxury empire dying? Because luxury was the thermometer of the aspirational middle class. When doctors, lawyers, and entrepreneurs stop buying status signals, it's because fear has overcome vanity. The LVMH fall that Magnates Media analyzed isn't just about expensive handbags. It's about the end of confidence in tomorrow. If you don't trust you'll have credit tomorrow, you save what you have today. And in an economy 70% based on consumption, when everyone decides to save simultaneously, the system stops. It's the paradox of thrift elevated to a global level. Luxury was always about exclusivity, but when easy credit democratized access to luxury, it lost its meaning. Everyone could have an iPhone, a German car, and designer clothes, as long as they agreed to pay for decades. Now that credit is drying up, we discover that the democratization of luxury was just the democratization of debt. When a credit-based economy hits its limits, contraction isn't gradual, it's sudden and devastating. China is already living this. Real estate companies worth billions simply disappeared. They didn't go bankrupt, they vanished, because their value was based entirely on debts that could never be paid. The same is happening in the West, just more subtly. The silent crash has already begun. It started the moment you accepted that having debt was the same as having wealth. The illusion is wearing too thin to sustain. Luxury stores are empty because the invisible money ran out. We're approaching the 2026 wall, and this time, there's no one left to rescue us. Governments have spent their ammunition. Central banks have printed their credibility to the end. This global recession will be different because it's the first time in history the entire world is in debt simultaneously. There's no healthy economy to save us. There's no rich country to lend money. Everyone's in the same sinking boat. History teaches us that every time wealth becomes an illusion, reality returns with devastating vengeance. The silent crash has already begun. It started the moment you accepted that having debt was the same as having wealth. We're at the end of a long debt cycle, lasting approximately 80 years. The last one ended in 1945. Do the math. The music stopped. Are you still dancing? But there's a crucial difference between who survives and who sinks when the system collapses. Survivors understand that crisis isn't an event, it's a transfer. Wealth doesn't disappear, it changes hands. The question is, will you be on the right side of that transfer? To understand how to position yourself, you first need to understand the mistakes being repeated, and they're exactly the same as 1929. In 1929, when everyone was buying with borrowed money, the truly smart ones were selling with real money. Today, while everyone's buying houses, cars, and stocks with credit, the truly wealthy are selling and accumulating real assets. The difference is that this time it's not just about money, it's about resources, energy, and geographic position. The coming decades will be defined by who controls physical resources, not financial ones. If you want to understand exactly how to identify the signs of a crisis before it happens and why the same patterns are repeating today, subscribe to uNuts, because in this new world, truth is the only asset that doesn't lose value. Hit the bell because the coming months will be decisive, and you can't afford to miss a single analysis.